Hi, I'm Jackie Keenan. In Chicago Business Today, a brewing booze battle. In this week's Crain's, David Sterrett reports on how the state's powerful liquor distributors are teaming up to stop beer giant Anheuser-Busch from encroaching on their turf. The St. Louis brewing giant wants to distribute beer itself rather than through an independent wholesaler. The wholesalers feared that would threaten to destroy the state's three-tiered alcohol regime. Sterrett sat down with Managing Editor Brandon Copple to talk about the booze brawl.
David, in Illinois, the alcohol business operates under the three-tiered system. What is that?
Basically, it's designed to keep manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers each independent and separate. The idea is that the manufacturers, being the brewer or the distillers of the spirits, sell to a wholesaler who then distributes the alcohol to retailers, which are basically supermarkets, bars, restaurants.
And this dates back to when the country repealed Prohibition. All the states enacted these regimes, and what was the point?
The idea was to make sure the distribution of alcohol was safe, and the idea was the worry that the manufacturers could sell directly to the retailers, that they could try to use their power to push off smaller manufacturers, or they might give counterfeit. I mean, the idea is the distributors, the middle tier, is supposed to be kind of almost like a regulator, making sure the stuff the manufacturers are giving them is good, and then selling it to a retailer and trying to promote competition in a fair marketplace.
Tell us what's happening now. You've got, down in Springfield, the Illinois Liquor Control Commission is deciding this matter involving Anheuser-Busch, which is trying to take over a distributor, right?
Yeah, basically Anheuser-Busch, the big brewer in St. Louis, wants to take over one of its distributors, so in theory it would distribute the beer on its own. And the State Liquor Control Commission has said that they don't think they should give them a distributor's license to protect the three-tiered system.
And obviously the other distributors in the state are against this.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously the worst nightmare for the other distributors, because this is their whole business, is basically distributing beer and booze for big manufacturers.
But this is a pretty powerful bunch, right? We're talking about the Wirtz family, the Reyes, which owns Chicago Beverage System, which is the biggest liquor distribution business in the country.
Yeah, I mean, distributors is a very lucrative business, and especially here in Illinois, we have some of the biggest in the country. I mean, Wirtz Beverage is really big here locally. Southern Wine and Spirits, which is also very big in Illinois, is the biggest liquor and wine distributor in the U.S. And then Reyes, like you mentioned, is definitely one of the biggest beer distributors, and they're based right here in Chicago and have a huge presence here.
And just in Illinois, we're talking about billions of dollars just in the wholesale, in that for the middleman.
Yes, definitely. You have people like Yusef Jackson's a distributor, so there's a lot of big names and there's a lot of big money in the distribution in Illinois.
It seems that the commission so far, the staff anyway, is siding with the distributors against Anheuser-Busch. It wants to deny them a license to distribute. What's likely to happen if that's the decision?
Most experts in the industry think no matter what the commission decides, the losing party is going to try to sue the other one and bring the issue to the courts, and then the courts will make a decision. But in the end, the other big forum where this could play out is the legislator, because the legislator is writing the rules that the commission is interpreting. So I mean, the courts will then take up, did the commission interpret the rules correctly? But in the end, the losing party could end up going to the legislator saying, let's try to change the rules.
Right, and the distributors, again, are the people with names like Wirtz, who have a fair amount of clout down in Springfield. Right?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a difficult fight for Anheuser-Busch, and this is something each state does it a little differently, and the big manufacturers like Anheuser-Busch have different battles going on in each state, trying to get different controlling interests.
What about for the consumer? Will it be, let's say Anheuser-Busch wins and is able to distribute, will it be cheaper or more expensive to get drunk in Illinois?
Well, there's not a clear answer to that. I mean, some people say that it could be more expensive because in theory AB would have more market clout and would feel that they could raise prices. Others say, though, that it could set off some sort of price war as, you get consolidation. It's been very difficult. I mean, people wondered what was going to happen when Anheuser-Busch and Miller Coors have basically taken control of a huge percentage of the beer market.
They're essentially a duopoly here.
And at least at this point, it's been more price increases probably than price decreases, which is not surprising. But again, there always could be the chance that a price war breaks out.
Right. Okay. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Brandon.
And that's all for this edition of Chicago Business Today. For more on this brew battle, look for David Sterrett's story in this week's Crain's. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.